Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to the NoBS live show. We're here to talk about all your favorite topics and what's been going on in the world today. I'm, of course, your host, NoBS, Brooks himself here, looking a little less slick than usual. The hair's a mess, but I'm sure you guys can appreciate the effort going in here. We're still trying. We're giving you guys lots of cool entertainment, lots of stuff to think about and talk about. So that's why we have to have more videos and more streams like this. The world is getting really crazy this year. There's been a lot going on, so we're going to start talking about that real quick. But first, let me introduce Marcus is joining me again today. How you doing, buddy?
Doing great. How are you, Brooks?
I am awesome. Welcome back to the show, and we'll get right into it. What was the first topic we were going to go over?
Well, we would like to discuss some significant developments that happened in the last couple of days from the riots, some of which are interesting in a point where it kind of strikes home personally, and just one of those like, wow, did that really happen?
Hmm.
Oh, yes, it did.
Yeah, it's scary, man. It's like there's a lot going on. There's a lot of this kind of stuff that's getting too close to home. I mean, it's in our neighborhoods, it's in all these cities. It's like not just sitting back and watching something happen from far away, but yeah, I think that's why it's so scary, and that's why there's a lot to go over. We'll get into all those topics. I'm going to read your guys' comments too. I see some people chatting already. I see some people watching already. Welcome to the show. The other thing I wanted to mention before we get rolling is yes, we got 10K subscribers on this channel. 10,000 people have joined us on No BS News. This is our second channel, basically trying to get you guys more content, more videos. Extra videos are posted on here. We're doing live streams here for the most part. We might bump up and do some streams on the main channel too, which has also gotten itself some extra videos. And we're just kind of trying to adapt, grow, expand with the times. It seemed like one video a day just wasn't enough with all the stuff going on, and with you know the way the platform works and the way social media is. I mean, you got to post every day. You got to keep it up, especially when you're involved in this kind of news stuff, like we're talking about current events. And yeah, so there's a lot to talk about, and we've got some comments here. Let's see. We've got Melvin saying, "Great dude." Let's see. We've got Eric saying, "Hey, how's it going? How are you today? We're doing good, doing good." Someone says, "Let's roll," I believe is what it says here. And what else do we got? Alan
Alan is bringing
Moon.
out the glasses.
Yeah, Alan. Thank you for that. Notification. Just happened to see the post. So some people didn't get notified. Yeah, if you're new or you're coming back, make sure you guys do hit the subscribe button, hit the notification, get yourself informed on the content coming out in the best ways possible. We also have a Twitter, my Twitter. It's linked. All the links are below, so just follow that. We post on there, post on the community page, on the main channel. There's lots of places to find us, so we're not hiding out. All day long says, "Congrats, Brooks. Thanks for using the platform to speak the truth. So many other media outlets refuse to tell the truth." Yeah, there's a lot of misinformation out there. That's for sure. There's a lot of you got to kind of read between the lines these days. You have so much media presence as well. Like there's so many things. Like I was just listing my links, and I'm not even like on every single thing. Like there's way more people, way more involved. There's Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all these things. Parlor, people tell me to get on Parlor. There was Gab, and then there's BitChute, and there's all these websites, YouTube, Vimeo, just one after the other. So it's good to find a kind of center and a home and a platform where we can all talk about what we want to talk about and get through the news together, figure things out, laugh at some dumb people and stuff like that. But yeah, as for that part of the story, Marcus, which of those platforms are you on? I know you said you had a YouTube that you have going. Tell us about that channel real quick.
Well, I have a YouTube channel. It is called M Prosser.
Cool.
It is a railfan channel.
Very cool. Yeah, I know you told me about that. I've checked out your videos. Very cool stuff if you're interested in that kind of thing. Like rail fanning is basically these big kinds of train enthusiasts, right? Like people that love trains, they love to check them out. The beauty of the architecture, the way they put the rails out. Am I getting that right, Marcus?
Correct. There's a lot of things that go into rail fanning, primarily seeing what kind of power is pulling the trains. And by power, I mean the engines. A lot of the engines are unique in their own character,
Yeah,
and it's really, really cool to catch what it is,
that's
and
cool.
also the type of trains you do get to see. It's what keeps our economy in motion.
Awesome, awesome. Yeah, so guys, check out this channel. Make sure you put it, Marcus, when you get a chance, maybe put it in the chat or something, and we'll post it on a comment or whatever. But that's cool stuff. Lots of cool people we know on the channel. We've had lots of cool guests and different kinds of fans from different kinds of parts of YouTube. NoBS is kind of somewhere in the middle. Like I never really had this kind of. I'm not with the skeptics or with this group or that group. We're just doing our own thing here, having fun, and I think it's working. We're having enjoying stuff. People are seeming to respond well. Let's see who else commented here. Someone says, I've been following OBS for years, one of my favorite channels. Thank you for that, Native. Improsser put his name in the chat. So, yeah, it's Improsser if you're looking for that channel we talked about from Marcus. Gamer49 says, Grats. Nice work, man. Thank you, Lloyd. I like this, says Raven. Someone else looking at drinks here, which is fun, always fun. Drinking on a Sunday, lazy Sunday. Pretty lazy for me. Besides this stream, I'm having the day off, which is going to be nice. We do have a few things to do at the house, just some errands and stuff. I'm going to see my brother later, maybe, but yeah, that's cool. So back to the news now. Let's get to this talk about the riots. Let's just go ahead. I'm actually just going to bring up some news. Let's see here. That was a little echo. You can hear my live stream going on another tab. Let me just bring up the news and we'll kind of just stream through it.
Yeah. And in the meantime, I'll also mention some of the things
Sure.
that has happened over here, and it's kind of hit close to home for me.
Sure.
Yep.
Yeah, we got Britain's
Whenever you're ready.
Banks. Britain Banksy, we got virus news, area common news. Let's see what Google News says. Updates on Floyd. New York City lifts curfew. Barr denies systemic racism. Fox News apologizes for insensitive graphic. That looks interesting. Yeah, so the thing I would first say is the Floyd stuff seems to be going on. I mean, there was more demonstrations, more of these protests and stuff today. It's over a week later. I mean, this is a really big update, a really lot going on here. It's still going on. And I think it's just showing there's a lot of people with a lot of anger out there. They're angry, they want stuff to change. You got to give them credit for kind of trying to take some action, but yeah, it's definitely gone too far and it's gone too long. And we definitely shouldn't have been breaking laws. We shouldn't have been breaking places down. Like there's a peaceful way to do this. So there's a lot of problems there. And then also it's just kind of based on misinformation, like there's a bad premise in the beginning here. Like they're saying, oh, this guy got killed because of racism. But, no one proved any racism. I didn't see any racism. There was multiple people in different races involved. So that's kind of that's a bad place to start. And then the claim of all the protests now in the BLM is, oh, look, there's just all the cops are racist and beating people up. Their police brutality is based on racism, but we don't really have a lot of support for that either. I mean, yeah, we have a few cases out of hundreds of millions of people, out of thousands of arrests. I know there are bad things. I'm not saying there's no bad people or brutality. No one, I think, would say that. But the fact of the matter is, this all is kind of based on a lie, I guess. What would you say your take is on it, Marcus?
Well, it was just a very, very whatchamacallit, like a very negligent homicide in a way. It wasn't a racially motivated like murder,
Yeah.
and murder was not the intention. The guy just happened to have lack of oxygen, couldn't
Yeah.
breathe due to the knee being on his neck,
Yeah, it was
and lost
definitely a bad
consciousness.
case. Like, yeah, it was definitely, people need to be punished. Some reparations to the family. Like people need to fix that maybe that police station needs some work, some new people, some other people, like whichever. But to go this far, I mean, we're way outside of Minneapolis now. Now we're across the country. Every single state has had a protest based on this kind of misrepresentation. And then, yeah, there's the other thing where it's like, there's no there's not a racial element to prove there. It's just a bad arrest, a bad person, that's still bad, but we don't need to like put this racism on everything and say this is racist, this is racist. That's just what the race baiters are doing. It's like the hustle. They're trying to get everyone worked up and they put that racial element on. And that's another thing this part of this article to next talk about is Barr denies systemic racism. And this is a bad argument we've seen for years, really. I mean, this is the kind of stuff we've talked about on the channel multiple times in different ways, different topics or stories. But yeah, the systemic racism claim is just bogus. There's no system of racism, there's no official racism, there's no laws that give this group or that group preference or anything like that. I mean, if anything, there's some laws that are preferring the minorities. Like the minorities have things like affirmative action, and women get like special treatment in courts and in the system a lot too. So I think the fact that they can't see that they're already getting special treatment, and then they're saying we're getting special treatment and they want more special treatment, it's like really not what the whole thing is at all.
Yeah. And when it started to come to Chicago, the riots, basically what a lot of people did, they blocked off all the main roads. Metra, also known as Metropolitan Rail, canceled all of their trains going in and out of Chicago, and I'm assuming Amtrak did the same. So it kind of had an effect on me personally. I couldn't see all the trains I wanted to see. And in a recent video, there was a intermodal freight train that got looted by one of the rioters.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah, it's crazy. And then
crazy.
it's crazy. And then you reminded me of something where you're talking about them closing things and shutting things down. This is something I realized last night that really bothered me. It's like, okay, the thing that's super messed up, it says it's not something wrong with the stream, maybe. I think I have to turn this off, maybe. Let me know if you guys can still see it. It says there's some kind of error. It might not be smooth. So I'm not sure. Let me check the chat. Shout out to everyone watching too. We'll get back to that thought. I want to talk about 4th of July. That's what I was getting to. And just let me know if you can still see the stream and stuff is still good. I think you guys are actually seeing me. Look at this. Sorry about that.
I was gonna say everything looks fine to me, other than
Okay.
there is a slight delay between real time and the actual stream itself.
Okay, yeah.
Like
So
I'm
you're
looking.
monitoring it too, and it seems good. Okay, I think we're good. I think we'd get a lot more comments saying they can't see it. Just let us know when you do. I'm checking in on the comments now. It says someone says there's narcotics in his system, other substances contributed to his demise. That's for sure. That was another. There's a lot more details about that I wanted to get into, like the whole arrest. Like there's people that are still denying that he was like resisting arrest. Like they try to pretend that didn't happen, even though there's a lot of proof, and you could see they didn't show the video, but that was the kind of thing that was messed up. They made sure not to show you any of the video of him resisting arrest. And
Yeah.
that's not like an excuse, and neither are these sicknesses. But I mean, there was another thing, part of the story. He didn't. The guy had COVID, like he had the coof. You
Oh,
know,
he did.
yeah, he had it like a month before or something, and people were like, "Oh my god, that's crazy!" And I think it might have been part of it because you still have it even after a month. Like it doesn't just go out of your system, and it also affects breathing. So that could have definitely contributed to this sort of thing. Like it's like a bad chain of events, and yeah, and then the other thing about the arrest, I think that's all about the arrest. The other thing I was gonna say was I want to get back to 4th of July because what it was that was funny is like, okay, you're talking about these things canceled related to your area and some event or something like that. And I noticed they've canceled a lot of events for the summer. We already know all these movies are canceled. And then on top of that, 4th of July has been canceled at a lot of places, right? Like no
Oh
4th
yeah.
of July parties, no like firework or big events. Like they're all canceling stuff in all the cities. And what's messed up is in these same places, they're telling people to protest. And they're telling
Yeah.
people to get together and, protest the police and racism and stuff. But then it's like, why can't we have a 4th of July?
Social distancing is very, very selective in that case. They're like, yeah, yeah, stay 6 feet apart when you're shopping or when you're doing this or attending this and that. But suddenly we had a really, really bad case that happened, and suddenly social distancing doesn't matter anymore.
I know, it's crazy. And then the part about this that really angers me, or whichever, the part that's really upsetting about this thing is like they're obviously canceling 4th of July, and it's like anti-American. They always have been trying to cancel like 4th of July and Christmas. We've covered this like for years. Like I've done at least a couple videos on both of those holidays getting attacked. And now we're to a point where they literally canceled 4th of July, and the reason was, oh, we can't have all these large gatherings. And then in the same sentence, same breath, they're telling people to go to these big protests. It's like a total obvious move. Like they're obviously, it's political.
Yeah, it's also extremely very hypocritical of them to say such things.
Hmm. Yeah, it's so hypocritical, and it's this part. It's just, I think we're at a point where it's very insulting, like how hypocritical they are. Like it's very insulting, like how they think they can do what they tell us not to do. It's like kind of like they're treating us like kids. It's like when you have a kid, you could tell them not to smoke, but then you could go smoke. Like there's kind of a justification there when you're older. But like basically their liberals are treating everyone else like kids because they're like, oh, don't do this, you can't do this, but I'm gonna go do it. And the whole thing, it's just a mess. It's really upsetting, especially the 4th of July part really triggers me because I'm just like, they literally canceled the holiday. I mean, yeah, it's still on the calendar. I know there's still people, you could still do something, like I'm just saying, as far as official events, parades, gatherings, fireworks, like the town's celebrations are all canceled.
Yeah, when in doubt, just go all out and just get yourself a case of beer, get yourself some fireworks, and just set them off yourself.
Yeah, that's all we could do now. That's all we could do is have our own thing. I am going to miss the fireworks. There used to be, demonstrations in each town. It's nice to go there and like mix it up with the public. But I'm not even wanting to do that myself. I feel more comfortable if it's happening there in town. Like I like to know that we're celebrating America's birthday. It's like our big holiday, and it's so
Mhm.
funny. I'm so done hearing about this story. I am too. I hear that too. It's getting to be, this whole riot thing is getting old, and the whole BLM thing, it's like they went too far, like they pushed it too quick, too hard. And I actually have a video about that. I think it's my video. It's coming out soon on the main channel. I have a second video I have scheduled, and it was about that because there's like this video from CBS, and I think it's been trending a lot, so you might have seen it on Twitter. And basically, they're saying people aren't talking about this issue enough. Like Black Lives Matter isn't enough right now. And I was just like, that's why I had to make the video. And yeah, it's just so funny because I'm like, when is it enough? Like I feel like every single person has talked about this for a week. Like it's been everywhere. Like all the companies have gone with it. Like all these people are posting about it. The leaders, the politicians, people in the media, like everyone's on board. Even like this show, like we're not against like Black Lives Matter. Like we want them to, we want black people to be happy and safe. But the main thing we're against is just that hashtag, and it doesn't really mean what they claim. And there's like a lot of people that latch onto it and turn it into this racist, anti-white thing. That's the real problem. Like no one's against like black people in the community in our country. Like everyone's on board with that. So that's kind of where that stands. And then yeah, I thought it was funny. This person reminded me of it, that comment, and it's like they're still going for it. They're not. It's not enough for them, and that's why I made that video because it was so crazy. Like, and I was just like, what? Like, how could this not be enough? They've literally got everyone talking about it.
Exactly, yeah, and it comes to a point where yeah, we just want to say enough is enough.
Hmm.
But then they're like, "Are you being a sensitive person about this?" I'm like, "It's not that I'm being sensitive about it. I just heard enough of it. I want to hear something that isn't relevant to that
Right.
for a
And then,
change.
and then someone said something about the volume fading in or out. I think that might be a microphone issue. I just tried to fix it, but I think you can hear it now. Thanks for that note. Thanks for everyone checking in. Appreciate the comments. This is going to be a quicker stream. I think I have to go in a few. So make sure you guys, comment, get your thoughts out there now. We'll talk about everything we can for another maybe 5 or 10.
Yeah, I'll look over the list and see what we can brush over real quick because
Sure.
I did promise, the folks, we could try brushing over some of these events that happened the last 2 weeks.
Okay, yeah, jump into it. Point out stuff on your map. Oh yeah,
Yeah,
I have my map behind me. Yeah, this is China. This is Russia. Russia. This is Africa. Black Lives Matter. I'm just
yeah.
like, I don't know. I just been saying it. I'm trying to get in on the hashtag.
So we wanted to talk about the reporter from CBS, Wei Zhang.
Oh, the worst. The worst.
Yeah. Why don't you ask China? And then,
Not
yeah,
just China.
pulls off her mask. I'm like, come on.
Yeah,
What are
that
you
was the
trying
worst. That was
what are
the
you
worst. And
what are you
then
trying to achieve here?
I know, I know. And then that reminds me, I think this was the video that we posted yesterday. Sorry if I get confused on the live stream, like, because I'm just like, I've been doing so many videos. Sometimes I don't even know where they get placed. But yeah, there was the last video about another reporter incident. Like this Wei Zhang, she was one of the first ones that was like yelling at Trump, and now we got this new one. It was Trump signing a bill like a day or two ago, and
Yeah.
they were like, "You know which one I'm talking about?" Yeah, it's
Yep.
like they're yelling at him during the bill signing, and it's like, dude, that's not even like a question time. Like, why are you being so rude? And I can't believe, on top of that, the press tried to turn that as a negative against Trump.
Yeah.
It
It was
was
so pathetic. I was just like, come on, this is a historical moment.
I know. And it was like he was signing this bill to save the economy and make jobs and stuff. He was supporting like something about jobs going up and getting the economy going. And they're like, how does that fix this? Like, and actually, that I remember now, like when I heard the video again, she was saying systemic racism. Like, and I think it was that PBS chick now, because I think someone else, I saw some posts later. I didn't get to all of it in the video because I couldn't hear it. And then, but later someone said it was that Yamicha girl from PBS, and she's like one of the worst reporters too. Like a definite, it's very similar to Wei Zhang. And what it is there's this trend. It's like these minority female reporters come in and they act so rude to the president, and they're like trying to bait him all the time and trying to get him to go triggered. And this was the video, and what the chick was saying was actually what we were talking about earlier, that systemic racism. She's like, what do you think about systemic racism? She was like asking him to address systemic racism, and it's like, dude, the guy is building the economy. He's trying to get everyone back to work, and you're talking about this made up racism. Like, there's no systemic racism. It's just like air. It's like, oh, the world is racist. Like, there's no like thing to do. Like, what's Trump gonna do about systemic racism? Like this racism that you're making up and imagining in the air. I mean, it's like, how do you fix that? Like, Trump is fixing real big boy adult problems. He's got like real shit to handle, and this girl is like yelling at him, and she sounds so crazy. And I'm just like, how do these reporters keep doing this day after day? And they think that doesn't look crazy. They look like insane.
And how do they not get their press cards revoked or whatever?
I know.
Yeah. And let's see what else. What else
Yeah.
is there? So yeah, we talked about Wei Zhang. That's the one thing I wanted to talk about. And then there was Wendy's. Wendy's gets canceled.
Yeah, yeah, that was a good one. That was like another video that actually got a lot of attention because I don't know, it's just funny because I think people like Wendy's a lot too. Like I realized when I made that video and got a lot of support, I was like, yeah, Wendy's is one of the good ones. Wendy's is legit. Wendy's, it's fast food, but they're definitely on a higher quality. They have the good burger. They have a Frosties, people like Wendy's. Wendy's has that cool Twitter guy too. Like their Twitter has always been really, really spicy, like they always call people out and make these like edgy jokes. So I think we should have known, and apparently that story got blown up. If you had seen the video or remembered, yeah, it was just basically one person that owned a Wendy's franchise donated to Trump, and that went on to them trying to cancel the whole company. It was
That is
insane.
that is insane. And I actually got to try out their new breakfast menu. Very delicious. You got to try it if you haven't
Mm-hmm.
tried it
Mm-hmm.
yet. I had
Yeah.
the I had the Wendy's Baconator, the breakfast Baconator, and sausage, egg, and cheese. Oh my God, it's so good. Good way to fill up in the morning.
Yeah, no, they're good, and they have good deals too. Like that was another thing. A lot of people commented when the video came out. It was like the 4 for 4 deal. There, everyone's talking about the 4 for 4 deal at Wendy's, and I was like, yeah, that is a good deal. It's like so cheap, and you have a whole meal there. You know, I mean, it's little bits of each thing, but I mean, they're good. That's enough. That's filling.
That's
Um,
enough to like. What exactly are they? What four things are they selling for $4?
it's like, uh, yeah, it's like a fries, a nugget, a burger, and a soda
Mmm.
for $4. You know, it's like good deal. You know, it's like I mean, it's like the little burger. I think it's like maybe just 4 nuggets or something, but that's good. It's like you put all that together, $4. That's a whole meal.
Yeah, most meals that big, people usually pay about anywhere between $8 to $12 for at
Yeah.
other franchises. But 4 for 4, oh yeah, I'll buy that any day.
Someone said fast food will kill you. Someone said Chick-fil-A is better than Wendy's. That's a pretty good argument. I think Chick-fil-A is really good. I think they're both pretty good. I think they're kind of different enough that it's hard to compare them because
Yeah, because
Wendy's has a great
Wendy's,
burger.
yeah, Wendy's is burgers and Chick-fil-A as well.
Yeah,
Chicken.
they both have the best of that. You know, it's like Chick-fil-A is the best chicken sandwich. Wendy's is the best burger. I mean, not
Yeah,
of all time or anything, but in
yeah,
general.
yeah. If you wanted to construct an argument about chicken, people will say, well, what about KFC, Popeyes, Chick-fil-A? You have a whole bunch of chicken joints you could throw into the argument.
Yeah, there's so many chickens and so many people that want to eat them. Chickens are good. Oh man, I think we're getting hungry when we start talking about food. This happens with my friends sometimes too, like or my family or something. Like we'll just start talking, and then the next thing you know, we're like, man, we've been talking about the McDonald's menu for like an hour. I think we should just go eat something. Just keep going about food. But yeah, that's pretty good. That's almost a good place to wrap things up too. I know it's a little bit shorter. We're coming up on 30 minutes, but we have a lot going on today at the No BS house. So we're gonna read a few more comments, maybe one more piece from you, Marcus, if you have another story to jump into, and then
Oh
we'll
yeah.
wrap things up. Let me see what the comments say first. They say we don't have Chick-fil-A. That's sad. I'm sorry. What riots have been like near you? Nothing big near me. I'm like in the suburbs, so like it wasn't like anything crazy. Like I'm not near big city or anything anymore. So it was just like a pretty much they called it a peaceful protest, but it was one of those ones like they didn't break anything, but it was like they were in the streets blocking the roads and they were in the middle of traffic and stuff. So I don't really call that. I mean, I guess that's still peaceful. Like maybe you could technically say that's peaceful, but when they block the roads, I feel like it's like kind of it's like breaking a law. It's not, they're pushing it a little far, but admittedly, it's definitely better than, a lot of the other things that went wrong. So, yeah, not much near me, thankfully. Hopefully, you guys have all been safe too. Shout out to what do you think of the RNC leaving Charlotte? Yeah, I think that's probably justified. I think I need to revisit the details of that story, but I think Charlotte did something like anti-conservative or did some kind of thing that just triggered the Republicans to move. But I think it might be justified. I mean, they could hold that Republican conference wherever they want. It's they're up to their discretion. So I'd have to double check that story. They weren't too bad in Tampa. That's where someone's from. When will movie theaters reopen? I think some are starting to reopen. The problem with that is, though, I thought about this too. is there's not like any movies to come out now. So even when the theaters can reopen, like everything's been pushed back. Like all those movies got pushed way back to like November. So I don't know if they're even going to have anything to play. I think they're trying to reopen them, and there might be a few. I know I saw some that were selling food and stuff during the virus, like trying to keep their food restaurant side open, um, stuff like that. But where did they move it to? I think if you're talking about the movies, yeah, it's like the movies are mostly November coming out now. Some of them even moved to like next year, like Fast and the Furious postponed like a whole year. But yeah, I think maybe by October or November we could see some movie theaters get back into business. I think they might try and reopen now. Like I said, there's just nothing to play. So
Yeah.
that about wraps things up. Marcus, did you have one more story?
Actually,
Are we good?
just two, but it'll be really, really, really quick.
Okay, do it.
Jake and Joe, Jake, Jake Paul and Joe Biden.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, I heard more stuff about the Jake Paul story because first he joined the looting and then he got charged and he could be going to jail or something now. Like I think it's getting pretty serious. I think he could get out of it or get a lawyer to give him like house arrest or something. But yeah, that
Yeah,
Jake Paul stuff is
with the
messed
amount
up.
of money he make, yeah, with the amount of money he makes, I'm pretty sure the the court will cut him a nice deal.
Yeah, and he'll have to pay some fines or something too. Someone says happy 10K. Yeah, thank you guys so much for 10,000 subscribers. That's awesome, by the way. Thanks again. You guys are the best. These people watching, and this is why we're doing this. Someone said thanks for the new videos or something too, asking about upcoming videos. Yes, we have new videos on the way. I have stuff scheduled. Like I said, and at about noon, I think in 15 minutes on the main channel, we're having that video about that CBS video that I mentioned earlier. And then I have another video for tomorrow morning. It's going to be about Legos. Legos have been getting into drama again. They've been kind of one of those companies that got attacked for not speaking out in this whole thing. And there's more to that story. And besides that, I think that about wraps things up. Was there one more from you, Marcus? What was the other one?
Joe Biden.
Joe Biden. Okay. Joe Biden, basically, with him, I haven't heard anything new, but he did have that last mess up we talked about, I think a couple days ago.
There were two actually, but we'll focus on the one.
Yeah, yeah. The one thing he said was, well, there was like if you don't vote for me, you ain't black. That was from a while ago. And then the new one was, oh, 10% of Americans aren't that good of people. And the
Yeah.
things that I would add to that, I had the video already. If you guys had seen it or you want to check it later. And the other things I would add though was, and this is what a lot of people commented, and I believe it. It's like this is a big moment for him. It's his kind of deplorables moment. That was what they called it when Hillary called people deplorables.
Oh yeah.
And this is similar to that for Biden. It's like his deplorables moment. He's isolating a lot of people in the country that could vote for him. He's calling them out, saying this bad thing, saying they're bad people or whatever. And sure, like I said in the video I made, that could be true. I'm sure 1 out of 10 people are definitely not that nice. There could be assholes or even criminals, but it's just not something to say when you're running for president.
Yeah, when you're running for a position as big as that, I mean, even even your worst enemies you have to be somewhat nice to. Otherwise, yeah, the whole country just
Hmm.
blacklists you from
Yeah, and then that's
everything.
going to turn off more people than just those 10%. Like other people are going to be like, oh, this guy's against them. Like they're just going to snowball and ruin Biden's chances. And yeah, I don't think he's doing himself any favors. And the other thing about that, too, is just weird is that, Biden just seems to like disappear for a week and then pop back up and then disappear. Like he's really kind of being quiet and hidden. Like his campaign's still rolling and they're still tweeting and stuff, but it's just like it seems like he's not all there. Like he's doing so bad they're trying to keep him away from cameras, which is probably a good idea. I mean, Duff's up almost every time he speaks, so that's just maybe their strategy now. But it's worth pointing
Yeah.
out. It's worth calling out and having a good laugh at and talking with you guys. It's been a great show. I want to thank you all again. Sorry, cutting it a little bit short, but we're going to do more, so just stay tuned. Make sure you're subscribed, make sure all the notifications and all that fun stuff. Check out this channel, main channel. Thank you to Marcus. Thanks for coming back, buddy.
It's been an absolute Pleasure, and feel free to subscribe to M Prosser for some very,
Yeah.
very high quality videos.
Yeah, for sure. Guys, check out Improsser on YouTube. Pretty easy to find. Good rail fanning content, something different for you guys to check out. And besides that, everybody have a great day. I'm going to wrap things up. You guys are the best. Thanks for 10K. Have a good, safe Sunday.
Bye, everybody.